Hey guys, today is weigh-in day, and I will not miss a weigh-in day ever. I am going to be very conscious about the speed of my speaking today. I've had a little bit of a rough week. In case you couldn't tell, I've been persona non grata missing. I know lots of YouTubers talk about mental health breaks and all that stuff. I need to take one for realsies. I've mentioned in the past that I have PTSD. It has been a super long time since I've had an honest to goodness full on attack. And it's been long enough. It's been a few years. It's been years. And the last one I had was due to a job I had where it was just people were just being so hateful, and I couldn't deal with it no matter what I did. These people were just coming after me because it was one of those things where I've been doing basically the same job for 10 years that they were doing. All I had to learn was the system. And this one girl who had made a bunch of really good friends there got mad because she had been there for 2 months and I was there for maybe a week. That's all it took me to learn the system. And I was already at production level, and she had been there for like a month and wasn't. But she had never done the job before, and I tried to explain to her because she started making these comments, and I was like, can we talk? I feel like you're angry with me. Like, I want us to get along. We're coworkers. We can help each other out. And she basically just came at me with the, oh, you think you're so freaking perfect and whatever. And literally, like, I'm the girl that comes into work, sits down at my desk, does my job. At lunchtime, might have a couple conversations with people at work. But other than that, I just sit there and do my job. Like, that's it. That's me at work. And I was like, I'm sorry you feel that way. What have I done, to make you feel that way? And she's like, well, every single day, you're getting 100, 150 accounts cleared, and I'm getting like 25 to 30. Well, and maybe she was slow. Maybe she was behind. I don't know. If they weren't having a problem with her, then I don't see the problem. Not my place. I'm not her manager. So I basically said, well, I've already done this job. Like all I had to learn was how the system works, And so I know where to look, and I have that coming in, and I've been doing this for 10 years. Like I think they expected me to come in and do well, like to have, I didn't say do well, I said, and have high production because I've already done this. And she goes, yeah, well, you don't even get any errors. Well, right, because I've been doing this for 10 years. Like, I tried to explain to her, this isn't, something new for me. This isn't a brand new job with a brand new system plus brand new things to do and a whole thing I've never done before. I've done all of it. Well, needless to say, she just wasn't happy. And so she started, other people talk. She started talking to other people about me, telling them stuff that wasn't true. She just made it a very, very toxic place to work. And I went to my manager a few times and I said, listen, like, I haven't done anything to her. I understand that she's not understanding that I've been doing this job for 10 years. I've tried to talk to her. I've tried to ask this way we can work something out. I said, but at this point, it's getting really, really hard for me because she's telling people not to talk to me. Like, it was like high school. It was seriously like high school. And she was telling people, oh, don't talk to her, whatever, and all this other stuff. And so she made like the one person in the office that had nobody to talk to because it was a really small office. And she would tell them stuff that saying I said something or did something that I never did. Like, we didn't talk. Other than me approaching her to see if we could kind of talk things out and figure things out, it just, that was it. That was the only time we've ever spoken. And so, to have it coming back to me when I said something to somebody, she's like, oh, I'm not talking to you. And I was like, okay, did I do something to offend you? Oh, I heard what you said about me. And I'm like, I haven't said anything about you. And these people just weren't understanding that she was lying. And it just turned into this whole high school thing. And I started getting stressed out. And it got to the point where I was throwing up trying to go to work. I was throwing up at work. I was having panic attacks all day. And then She accused me of something else in the office that I didn't do. And that was my trigger point to where I just had a complete panic attack. And the thing of it was, that was a different panic attack that I've had in the past, but the one I had Monday was way more like what I've had in the past. Sunday, I wasn't feeling right. I was jittery. I thought maybe I'd eaten something that, was just affecting me differently. And I woke up Monday morning, like early to go to the bathroom because, I drink a lot of water. So I'm always running to the bathroom. And I came out, and because I didn't want to wake up my husband, I came out to the living room, sat down, got all comfortable in the chair, got myself all nice and warm and cozy. And it's what I do if I wake up in the middle of the night. He has to work for 5 a.m. most days. So if I wake him up at like 1:30 in the morning, he's up. And I don't want to do that to him. So I'll just sneak into the living room and get comfortable, and I'll just nap in the recliner. It's not a big deal. Because I work from home, so in between my shifts and stuff, I can take a nap if I need to. But he can't do that. So I try to be thoughtful. So I turned on just some music that I like, something to kind of relax me, something I kind of close my eyes and still listen to and enjoy, and then, go to sleep. Well, I got all comfortable, and out of nowhere, my panic attack hit me like a brick wall. Like I just ran headfirst into a brick wall. I was shaking. I was sobbing. My heart was racing. My body was starting to hurt. I started getting hives, like all kinds of different symptoms. So I waited a little bit to see if it would go away on its own. And when it didn't, I called the overnight coverage for my doctor's office. And they called me back. And I explained to them, I have PTSD and this and this and this. And, I am overweight, so I'm concerned. Do I need to be concerned? Is this a cardiac, the terms I use, is this a cardiac event? Do I need to go to the hospital? Because I was worried. Obesity can lead to things like diabetes, cardiac disease, fatty liver disease, tons of stuff. And I don't want to assume that something's not and then die because of it. Like, my doctor and I have a good relationship because I call when I think something's serious. Even if it's not, she never laughs at me because she knows when I call her, it's because it's something that's very concerning to me. I mean, I even had this thing where I had this 1 2 bra I was wearing, and it was making the side of my chest itch. Well, of course, even if I took it off, if I'd been wearing it all day, it would still itch there because, of course, I'd already itched it and already aggravated it. And so I'm like, oh, what does it mean if that area itches? And everything comes up breast cancer. So I, of course, called her. I'm like, I think I have breast cancer. And she was like, come to my office. Let's check it out. And, of course, it wasn't. And that was one of the things this summer that I kind of mentioned I wasn't going to discuss, but I was not sure what was going on when all that was going on. So I didn't want to talk about it. And then afterwards, it just didn't need to come up. But just so you understand the relationship my doctor and I have, she knows when I call it something I'm concerned about. It's been a while. It's not something that's just happened, it hasn't been just one time. Like, I'm not that parent, like, oh my gosh, my child sneezed. I think they have pneumonia. Like, that's not me. I've worked in the medical field long enough to know when to start thinking something might be concerning. And anything that causes your heart race for longer than a little bit, obviously is concerning. But then I was thinking, well, did I drink enough water? Yes, of course I did. Like, I'm drinking like 3 of these a day, which is why I'm peeing at 12:30 in the morning. But anyhow, so I called the doctor, got the call back from another doctor who was covering for her. And I went over my symptoms, and I said, do I need to go to the hospital? And he's looking through my account. He's like, honestly, you're not having pain in association with the heart racing. You're not having this symptom or this symptom or this symptom. He's like, I really don't feel like this is a cardiac situation, but here's what we're going to do. He's like, obviously, if anything changes, just go to the ER. He said, but I'm setting an alarm. I will call you back in 2 hours. If you don't hear from me, call the number you called, and I will call you back. He said, we're going to track your symptoms and just see what happens if it gets worse. Or obviously, if it gets worse, like noticeably worse, you need to just go to the ER and have them check it. Because I can't diagnose that over the phone, but if you feel a major change towards the negative, just go. Which, of course, they always tell you. Sorry. And so that was fine. And 2 hours later, That was my alarm, because I put an alarm on my phone too, so I'd remember to call him back. My symptoms are pretty much the same. And except instead of, because I get lower back pain when I get panic attacks that goes down my legs. So I've been rubbing my legs, and my legs felt a little bit better. But that was about all that had changed. My heart was still kind of racing. It wasn't quite as bad, but it was still faster than normal. I still had my hives. I was still shaky, not as bad. That had gone down a little bit in 2 hours. But the full shaking and the back pain did not subside till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But he agreed it was definitely a PTSD episode. And he was like, well, what has happened? I'm like, nothing. Like, I've actually been pretty chill. Like, there was nothing to trigger it at all. Like, this had like no trigger that I could pick out and be like, oh, okay, that's what this was. And he was like, well, he's like, he's like, sometimes that just happens. And I've never had it just happen. So I was like, well, do I need to put in for testing? Or he's like, no. He's like, if it happens again, then let's see if there's something else going on. He's like, but I don't feel like, that you need to be concerned at this time. And of course, that was after the 2 hours. And then I did call my doctor during her work shift and was like, hey, I called in last night. I just want to know if she wants to see me. And she read what all my symptoms were and stuff from the notes from the doctor. And she says, no, I think he's right. I think it was just some off episode. Sometimes they do just happen. It's been a while since you've had one. I don't have them often enough to where I need medication. Sometimes my doctor will write me out like a 30-day prescription of Xanax to keep on hand. But honestly, I haven't gotten that filled in over a year. So, yeah. I just don't feel it because I don't use it. I probably could have used one the other night. So, before anybody says, well, maybe you should have had a prescription filled, I know. I don't like medication. I try not to take it. I know. Yeah. So anyhow, so needless to say, that's where I am at. I am, still having a little bit, I still have like some spots where I itched the hives too much. So I have some aggravated skin from that. I was exhausted on Tuesday and pretty much just slept all day. And then yesterday I did a video, but I was still not able to keep a normal human speed of speech to a certain extent, which is why I haven't worked in a couple of days. I did work this morning though, and my students understood me, so it was all good. And so yeah, so that's what happened to me, and I'm hoping I don't have to talk about that for another 2 or 3 years. We're just gonna wait and see what happens. Overall, I'm okay now, so no worries. It's just a thing that my body decided to do to me. And now that I've explained that, let's get to the weigh-in. Okay, so I lost about 3.6 pounds, 3.5 pounds this week. I'm nervous about next week because I know that with my body being as under as much stress as it was on Monday, I don't know what it'll do for the next week. But I'm going to try to offset that with a little bit extra working out and offset what the stress might have done to my body, and hopefully won't gain anything next week. But yeah, so that is what's been going on, and I'm sorry for being MIA. But thank you for joining me and listening to me whine. I'm going to do a video tomorrow about PCOS because September is PCOS month, or awareness month. I guess everything has a month now. But definitely some of the things I've learned, some of the things I know, some of the things I do, some of the things my doctor said, some basics. Saturday will just be a standard update day. Next week, I'm going to start back into doing some recipes and hopefully do a pretty big shopping haul because I want to start trying to do the grocery shopping out of my paycheck, and I finally got paid. So that is currently the plan. But anyhow, I will talk to you soon. You have a wonderful day. Bye.